Movies or a TV show you may have missed, Volume 3. So, a lot of people will ask me for movies or TV shows that they should watch, and I try to make a recommendation that's a hidden gem. You know, movies are, or the theater, I should say, is dominated by comic book movies these days, so I try to pick a movie that isn't in that genre. It may have been a big box office movie, but a lot of times, in most cases, people, for whatever reason, haven't seen the said movie or the said TV show. So I'm going to recommend 3 movies in this video and 1 TV show. You've already seen the thumbnail, so you know what I'm going to talk about, but let's get things started. First movie I want to recommend is Mr. Brooks. This is a movie that stars Kevin Costner. His name is Earl Brooks in the movie, and he actually he is a highly respected businessman. He actually was named Portland's Man of the Year, but he has this deep, dark secret that he's actually a serial killer known as the Thumbprint Killer, and he's actually been attending AA meetings to keep his addiction to killing under control for about 2 years. But he has an alter ego named Marshall, kind of like Dexter. When Dexter talks to Harry, he talks to this Marshall character played by the late William Hurt. He's reappeared and he pushes Mr. Brooks to kill again. So that's the premise. Now he kills this couple that's making love, and then he realizes he's actually been photographed by Dane Cook's character, and then Dane Cook is blackmailing him, and he wants to go out killing people with Mr. Brooks. So it's just a crazy movie. I don't want to give any more details because I don't want to spoil any elements, but I really like the movie. I think it's highly underrated. It came out in 2003 or 4, maybe 5. And of course, when I look for the year, I can't find 2007. Okay. I really like the movie. It's one of my top 100 favorite movies of all time, which at the end of this video, I'll put some links to different videos, such as my movies or TV shows you may have missed, Volume 1, Volume 2, and my top 100 favorite movies of all time that I actually recorded. That list has changed, and at some point, I will re-record that video. I broke it up into 10 parts, so you don't have to watch a very long video of me rambling. So, Mr. Brooks, check it out. Next up, surprisingly, this is a fucking awesome movie, and a lot of people still haven't seen it because they don't know what it is. And I'm talking about Dr. Sleep. So, for those of you that don't know, Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining. They didn't call it Shining 2, but this movie is awesome. It's amazing. It didn't get a lot of fanfare when it hit the theaters, but the movie is phenomenal. Basically, you have this group of people called the True Knot. They travel in search of substance, and they look mostly harmless and mostly old. Lots of polyester, and they're kind of married to their RVs. But Dan Torrance, who was the little boy in The Shining, knows, and he learns that Abra Stone is this person that they're going after, and she has like really strong shining powers. You have one of the greatest movie villains of all time in Rose the Hat. I don't want to give any more things away about this movie, but the movie is actually really good, and it is, again, it's the sequel to The Shining made, 20, 30 years later. I love it. I wasn't expecting to like this. I bought it a couple years later, like in 2021, just as, okay, I'll buy it. Maybe it was 2020. And I actually happened to watch it. Now, I'm not a big fan of the original Shining. I think Jack Nicholson's performance is really good, but the movie, in my opinion, it doesn't really do much for me. But this movie, I've only watched it one time. I really liked it, and I really liked the performances. Ewan McGregor plays the older version of Danny Torrance, and it's an awesome movie. So check out Dr. Sleep if you haven't. It's great. You'll love it, especially if you like The Shining. Okay. Now, the next movie, again, I try not to do movies that are considered blockbusters because people probably have seen those, especially if they're comic book movies. But I think this movie probably did okay at the box office. But I don't think, if I asked 100 people, I don't think 50% of them would say that they've seen this. And this movie is Olympus Has Fallen. Now, my theater experience for this movie was really phenomenal. The premise of the movie, you have a Secret Service agent. His name is Mike Banning, played by Gerald Butler. He's out with the president and the president's, family. Well, there's something goes wrong, and the president's wife dies. So he's taken off Secret Service detail and put in an office building. And years later, there's terrorists that take over the White House. Now, again, the movie, it's a little far-fetched, but Mike Banning, who's close to the White House, has to save the day, played by Gerald Butler again. So he goes to the White House. The president is played by Aaron Eckhart, who played Harvey Dent / Two-Face in The Dark Knight. And he was also in Core, two good movies that I like him in. Obviously, The Dark Knight's phenomenal, but the movie's awesome. Just seeing this in the theater, how the terrorists take over the White House was crazy. I went with my friend Ryan. He's like, where the hell did you come up with this movie at? He's like, this is amazing. We saw two really good movies in 2013. One of them was Prisoners, and one of them was Olympus Has Fallen. I think, actually, Olympus Has Fallen was first, if I recall. But those were two really good movies. And I talked about Prisoners in my last movies or TV show that you may have missed, Volume 2. But this, Olympus Has Fallen, I really like it. It's awesome. Please check it out if you haven't already. Maybe 60% of the people have seen Olympus Has Fallen. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about a TV show, and I know it's a TV show that especially has a bad reputation, and that would be the crazy TV show known as Lost, which has 6 seasons. I've got them all. I can't fit any more in my hand at the moment. Well, I guess I can. There we are. So Lost, obviously, is there's a plane crash, and a bunch of people are in this plane crash, and they crash on an island. And it's kind of what happens from there. There's a lot of misconceptions about Lost. It has an excellent cast. And really, in the show, there's not really many bad characters. When I think of, favorite characters on a TV show, I'm putting a lot of these characters in the favorite character category because these characters are so awesome. They develop the characters really well. It's a show that you can't just miss stuff on. You can't just doze off through half the episode and keep watching it. You're going to miss little tidbits here and there. Now, they wanted to end this show, the writers, J.J. Abrams and Carlton, I can't remember his name. They wanted to end the show after 3 seasons. The studio wanted him to go 10 seasons, so it probably went on more seasons than they anticipated. But I think it's an amazing show. Now, there's a lot of talk about the ending of Lost. A lot of people absolutely hate it. The thing that happens is explained. If you don't catch it, then you're going to be lost. So I would suggest really paying attention to the show. If you've seen Game of Thrones is one of those shows that you got to pay attention to every little thing, because otherwise you're going to be baffled when something happens. And I think that's kind of what Lost is. Lost is this big show that had all these crazy moments happen on it before Breaking Bad, before Game of Thrones, before Walking Dead. So I would highly recommend Lost. I love it. It's 6 seasons, and there's just amazing emotional moments in some season, awesome moments and happy moments. And the finale of Lost, a lot of people, I'm going to tell you that a lot of people hate the finale, but if you know what happened and you understand it, which I didn't understand the first time I watched it either. I will admit, I'm one of those people. It's one of my favorite finales of all time, and not a lot of people say that, but Lost is definitely one of my top TV shows of all time. And I know you probably didn't finish watching it if you started watching it, so I would suggest finishing Lost and getting through it, because the show is awesome. It's just sometimes it's a little hard to understand with certain dialogue that's said in this show. But check out Lost if you haven't. It stars Matthew Fox. You have Josh Holloway. You have Evangeline Lilly, of course, who plays the Wasp and Ant-Man and Wasp. You have Terry O'Quinn. You have just a phenomenal cast of characters in this TV show, and I can't stress enough. I'm sure you've probably watched the first season or two. Start watching it again. Pay attention to it. Don't try to watch too many episodes in one day. Stay awake, or go back if you fall asleep to where you left off at. I really like Lost, and that's why I'm putting it as a show that I would want you to watch. So there you have it. 3 movies and 1 TV show that I think you really should watch. Again, to recap, Mr. Brooks, Dr. Sleep, Olympus Has Fallen, and, of course, Lost. And after you're done watching Lost, go to Screen Junkies and watch the honest trailer for Lost. It's fucking hilarious. I love it, but I love Lost. So there you have it. Obviously, if you've already seen some of these, if you share to give your opinion, or I should say if you care to give your opinion, that's fine. positive or negative. If you want to say Lost sucks, or if for some reason you say Mr. Brooks sucks, that's fine. Just make sure you don't give any spoilers in the comments section. But definitely, if you've seen the show, give your opinion on it so other people know that I'm just not making this shit up. If you're a fan of these type of videos, or a fan just in general of anything that's on JDev TV, make sure you smash that like button. You know it helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Even 2 or 3 more likes on each video actually goes a long way. Share the video with whomever you want, or whatever social media platform you want to put it on. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are. If you watch these movies and you want to comment when you watch them, or TV show, please do so. I want people to see that these just aren't me talking and babbling. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, it goes without saying, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.